This is week 52 of our 2019 adventure, and I want you to know I get it. While millions of people are singing Christmas carols and laughing and enjoying time with their families, there are still millions who are not. If you are fighting back the tears and fighting the hopelessness that is magnified around this holiday season, let's spend some time together right now. Hi, I'm Carrie Fox, and I help people get their mojo back. Whether it's after falling completely down the rabbit hole, after some trauma or a heartbreak that's been devastating, or when things like the holidays roll around and we just start sliding down that slippery slope. And today we're going to focus on and really look at the reality that the holidays are not always happy for everyone. I'm going to give you some of my best tips and insights about dealing with the holiday blues, starting with the fact that you are not alone. Approximately 10% of Americans suffer from sadness or depression that's heightened during the holiday season, and that there is no right or wrong way to cope with or deal with these holiday blues. You need to try and find what works for you. And I've collected many tips and tricks over the years, and your holiday sadness and your blues may be different than mine or anyone else's. But even if one of these insights helps to get you out of the blues just a little bit, then we've both won. So my tip number one is that there is nothing cast in stone that says you have to or will experience joy during these times. You know, many of us were raised with homes where we were blessed to have parents or family that made it their main purpose to give us fun and happiness, great Thanksgivings and Christmas experiences, and all those Christmas movies and advertisings that we have to put up with that supports that expectation. And you may have friends who get so excited about the holidays and gatherings with their loved ones. These things not only set up expectations, but if you are sad, they fortify your feelings and maybe feeling different or left out. So what do you do when the holidays are sad and painful and filled with tears that you just can't control? My number one hint, the thing that I have found to be the most beneficial is to go to bed. When the sadness or hopelessness keeps insisting on taking control, there's a magic thing that can happen when you get away from and let go of all that sadness. And sometimes the only thing that'll work is just to go to bed. Sleeping can take you away from the 3D human and egoic experiences that are causing you this pain. If you followed me through the years, or you know that I firmly believe and I share how important it is to not just express, but to deeply accept and understand that we are spiritual essence having human experience. And that when I founded Harmony Enterprises in 1983, our motto became, live in harmony with the infinite wisdom that dreamed you into being, which means that when you are able to look at the world and your life from that point of view, this 3D life that you exist in and you think you see as real is actually such a small view or image of who you really are. And the trick of living from this concept is that the more you experience feelings of sadness, depression, fear, the harder it is to get into harmony with that higher self or higher spirit. For instance, when you are happy most of the time and have a moment of downness, it doesn't take that much effort to get back up. But when for whatever reason you are down for days or weeks like this holiday season is, you have to be deliberate about how you feel, because your feelings are magnetic and sadness draws more sadness to you. And let's face it, you don't want to stay in sadness any longer than necessary. Now, if you've tried the things that normally work, and we'll look at some of those in a minute, and they only work for maybe a half an hour before the tears are back, really, go to bed. Arrange your time, cancel out some obligations, find the time. Allow yourself the space and time to go into that other dimension of existence where the veil between your humanness and your cosmically connected self is so thin that your cosmically connected self can soothe your pain and love you up again. Maybe you can only take an hour. If that's true, take it. Take as much time to get away as you can. And slowly, probably using some of the other tips we're going to talk about today, you can climb out of this perilous pit. Now, in tip number 2, you can remind yourself that life is a series of experiences, growth spurts, transformations. You know, the old saying is 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. So you can try to keep that in mind. So what if there is no such thing as an accident? What if your life purpose has a lesson for you here in what you're experiencing? What if you are spiritually being encouraged to take stock of where you've been and that maybe it's time to move on? It's time to make your own personal transition from one phase of your incarnation or life path into the next. And when you can see life from this point of view, you can also see that everything is perfect exactly the way it is. That it might be taking this contrast to nudge you into your brighter, happier, and more in harmony self. Life may knock you down, but remember, you don't lose if you get knocked down. You lose if you stay down. So for hint number 3, it's to get back up, and the sooner the better. The longer you stay down, the more it's probably going to become a habit. And you don't want to let sadness become a habit. You want to fight. You want to fight. You want to fight for your happiness and fight for your passion and fight for your purpose and fight to regain your power. Number 4, have you forgotten how strong and beautiful and magnificent that you really are? If you have, then that, my dear friend, is your wake-up call. How can you live in harmony with the infinite wisdom that dreamed you into being if you have shut the door to the awareness of you being a beautiful, strong, magnificent child of God, being loved and blessed with all the tools and passion you need in this lifetime to live out loud? Now, this is one of the inspirational images that I have used over the years to remind myself to live out loud, to be audacious, to be colorful, and remember all that I can be when I'm not holding myself back. I like this image so much, I even added one of my favorite quotes to the image. Life is not a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up and totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, "Wow, what a ride!" That's how I want to go. And here's another. Enjoy the rewards of a life well lived. Doing whatever strikes your fancy, whenever it strikes your fancy, wearing whatever floats your boat. I love this lady who loves all these prints and these colors and her yellow and purple fuzzy socks and her purple hat. Living life out loud so that we can all live less out of habit and more out of intent, because to live is the rarest thing in the world, because most people just exist. Are you just existing? Are you shutting yourself down? Are you holding yourself back? Are you allowing sadness to take over and maybe become a habit? Now, none of this is to insinuate that you can't have or won't have bad days or sad days. But for tip number 5, let's remember to give in to this sadness for a limited amount of time. I have used and I've taught others to do anywhere from 1 hour to 1 day. And when you do that, give it all that you've got. Cry, sob, yell, scream. Put a pile of pillows on your bed and hit them with a baseball bat or a broomstick. But get it all out. Exhaust yourself. Get rid of it and let it go. Then you can go to bed, if you can, and wake up ready to understand that you can love louder. Now, not every day is a good day, but you can live out loud anyway. And not all you love will love you back, but you can love anyway. And not everyone will tell you the truth, but you can be honest anyway. And not all deals are fair, but you can play fair anyway. And for my last tip of the day, for number 6, adopt a new philosophy for 2020. Like maybe when life throws you a rainy day, play in the puddles. Or don't be pushed by your problems. Be led by your dreams. Or don't wait for things to get better. Life will always be complicated, so learn to be happy right now. Otherwise, you'll run out of time. And remember, people will love you or people will hate you. And really, none of it will have anything to do with you. So you can live your life being perfectly imperfect, and that's okay. So to recap my best tips and insights for this episode, number 1 was go to bed. And there's no such thing as an accident. And I want you to fight for your happiness. And remind yourself that you are strong and beautiful and magnificent. And give sadness a time limit. And adopt a new philosophy for 2020. So I know this brings us to the end of this kind of holiday blues edition, but let's look at the last of these 3 triple holidays that we're having right now, and that's New Year's coming up. And our New Year's resolutions, yeah, I know, a very small percentage of people actually make their resolutions last past January 30th. But I think you'll find these suggestions worth honoring in your 2020. So I want to suggest that you laugh a little louder, that you smile a little bigger, and love a little deeper, and live a lot more in harmony with the infinite wisdom that dreamed you into being. So be yourself, play fair, shoot for the moon, jump for joy, count your blessings, celebrate, dance in the rain, sing silly songs, make new friends, believe in magic. Now, what you might want to consider doing is to choose one of these to be your monthly mantra for January, and then choose another one for February and another one for March, and see how these will affect your 2020. Here's a few more. Live your truth, express your love, share your enthusiasm, take action towards your dreams, walk your talk, dance and sing to your music, embrace your blessings, and make today worth remembering. And a great way to end today's episode is to take a moment, and I'd like you to consider in one word, what do you live for? Please pick a word. In fact, you can maybe make that your word for 2020. Or what philosophy or adage you've chosen from that list that you're going to concentrate on in January. I'd really love to hear your responses, so please post them below this episode. And that completes this week 52 of the 2019 weekly episodes. And as we say goodbye to 2019, I want to send you my heartfelt love and support with a little free gift from me to you. Just send me an email at feellovedbook@harmonyenterprises.net, and we will get it off to you. So thanks for joining me today, and until next time, I am Carrie Fox, reminding you to live in harmony with the infinite wisdom that dreamed you into being. And remember, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, it's time to get your mojo back. So bye for now.